Hello, friends. This is the Nope Coach Podcast, episode 284. I'm your host, Suzanne Culberg, and I'm welcoming today a guest, Lamora Coons. And we are chatting, get ready, wait for it. I love this topic. Is your brand shitty or the shit? So I don't know if you've finished your webpage now, but when I came across it, you had Lamora has a coming soon page. And that was the sentence that you had. And I was like, can we do a podcast about this? So, handing it over to you. How can people tell if their brand's shitty or the shit?
My website is live now, but that phrase is still at the top. I find it captures a lot of attention. So to me, a shitty brand is one where they're pretending to be somebody that they're not. There's like a lot of times we have this like knee-jerk reaction when we start a business to be like, oh, I'm gonna play it safe and I'm gonna just be this like corporatized professional like zombie type person, like I am perfect, like buy my stuff. And that's shitty, right? It's like, no, you're trying to make yourself more palatable in some way, but like personal branding is the exact opposite of that. Like you want to have your quirks and your personality out there for the world to see. And it's like a lot of my clients are ex people pleasers and they struggle with this specifically because I say, like, I help you create a brand that you love that other people love too. And they're like, well, if I love it and I'm being authentic, how is anyone going to love that? Like, it doesn't compute in their head. Like, and so they end up doing this corporate professional vibe that's not them at all. So yeah, that's what a shitty brand is. And if you're the shit, then that means like you're owning who you are and you're saying what you really want to say. Like, I know I hate to use the buzzword authentic, but you kind of have to, like, I can't find another word that means that same idea, right?
The other thing that comes to me in authentic, because yeah, it cops a lot of flack, but like within integrity. I love the points that you're making because we get into the game usually because we're jacked by all the BS out there. But then we have some fear of visibility or freaking out, or nobody will like the real me, imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So then we water ourselves down. I loved how you said palatable. It reminds me of that quote, I will not make myself more palatable for you. You can go ahead and choke. But it's kind of like, then we lose the shit, as you put it. I love that way of putting it, and just become just like everybody else. And
Right.
that age-old marketing sentence, which annoys me, but it's true. If you're selling to everyone, you're selling to no one. Like you just sound like everyone else. And then if you sound like everyone else, what are you competing on? Usually price. So, I'll just go with whoever's the cheapest or whoever's the fastest. And sometimes, we all know cheap, quick, and easy. Not a great trio. But I
Exactly.
love this. And I think you're raising such a good point because it is vulnerable and it is scary to put the real you out there because there are people who don't like it. They want shitty because shitty's safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it on the other side of it, it's like it's so freeing when you can be yourself, like in every context, and you don't care what anyone says. Like you actually know, like you love yourself so much that no one else's opinion about you or about anything you say like can affect you because you're like, well, that's your opinion, and you move on with your day, and like you're just being you and you love yourself and you appreciate what you do and you champion your voice.
I love this. I'm going to do a personal example here. And my sister who listens to my show is going to be like really grumbly about this. But anyway, in the last weeks of the school holiday, school has gone back at the day of recording this. So yay. Yes, I love my children. I don't always like them. That's me being fully me. So, some people are going to judge that. That's fine. They're not my people. But they went to stay with my sister for a few days. Thank you so much. It was a lifesaver. And they came home, and the very first thing they said when I picked them up from the train station was, Auntie Sher listens to your show to put her to sleep because it's so boring. And my sister was horrified. She was like, I did not say that. They're grandizing it, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, but I don't care. Like, whether you said it or not, it doesn't, I'm unwavering in that because I like my show. I meet some awesome people. I have some fabulous discussions. It reaches some clients and potential new clients, and other people probably think, fuck, she's a weirdo. That's okay. They're not my people. But when you try to be the shit and you end up shitty, I think, like, say I put so much effort into this and I was, working so hard and pretending and efforting, and someone's like, I don't like it. That would probably hurt, and has in the past, where
Yeah.
when I first started doing webinars, I remember I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to put a class together. I didn't know how to get people's emails. Like, I knew nothing. I was like a business noob. And I remember spending a lot of money on this course, and they talked me through step by step by step how to run an intro, what to say, how to do the pitch. I spent a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort on this. And when people didn't react well, that hurt my feelings. Now I'm just like, yeah, what do I want to
Right.
talk about next week? And if some people it doesn't land with, I don't care, but not as in, I think careless needs to be reclaimed as a term, as in
Mhm.
you trust yourself enough that you're not hurt by stuff not working. You're kind of curious, as opposed to I've efforted so much and it's still not appreciated. It's like the people pleasing cry, after all I've done for you. And it's kind of like,
Exactly.
I did it for me first. And when I do it for me first, I hope that it lands. And if it doesn't, oh well, I still had fun.
Yeah, you don't wanna be a martyr in your own business.
Oh,
It's never
that.
fun.
Yes. And I
I
think,
had I
go
had a
ahead.
blog for 5 years, and I was totally a martyr, and I was always telling my husband, like, "I've tried so hard and, like, no one's buying my course," and all this stuff, but, like, I look back now and I'm like, I was not even being myself. I was totally just following what, you know the big mommy bloggers had said for me to do, and it wasn't anything, authentic to me. It wasn't like anything original. It wasn't my own thoughts. It was just like parroting other people, and yet I had put so much effort into it that it was so crushing to my soul that no one cared.
I think that's really worth just pausing for everyone to acknowledge. When we put a lot of effort in, and even still, just being you doesn't guarantee success. But I think the difference with it is, if you're enjoying it, like, I'm trying to think of something. If I go on a holiday and the weather's a bit shit, but I'm still like, I'm away from work, I can read my book, like I can find something else to do, I'm not
Mhm.
totally crushed. But if you go on a holiday and you want to see, like, I'm from Tasmania, there's this place there called Cradle Mountain, for anyone listening to this who's familiar with it. I lived in Tasmania for 20 odd years. I've never seen Cradle Mountain without cloud cover, no matter how many times I've been there. I'm an ex-native. And last week I was chatting to this bloke on the shuttle. He was a shuttle bus driver. We got chatting. It's so weird because I'm an introvert and I don't normally talk. I have my earbuds in. But anyway, we got chatting. He just got back from Tasmania. He'd been to Cradle Mountain and he'd seen it. The asshole. And the photo he showed me was incredible. And I was like, do you know how lucky you are? Like, I lived there over 20 years and I've never seen it without cloud cover. But, it's kind of like, if your trip is going to hinge on that one moment, like, another quick story, we went on a cruise in 2020. The day after we left, the pandemic was declared and Australia was shutting its
Yeah.
borders. So we literally had to turn around. So we went on a cruise to nowhere. Then we got caught in a cyclone. So we're being thrown around and there's no islands. And the cruise company is just chucking more money at us, onboard credit, do this, do that, which you could cash in. And the lineup to cash this credit in was incredible. And we were just like, let's go to the Build-A-Bear workshop. Let's go and get professional portraits done. Like, let's do all the stuff that we
Mhm.
wouldn't normally do. And we got off and everyone's like, wasn't this the worst trip ever? And we're like, this is the best. Because, we don't know how long this is going to go for. Little did we know it would be years for Australia. Our borders were shut for so long. Life's what you make it. But if you're being you, as opposed to it has to be picture perfect and Instagram
Mhm.
worthy.
Exactly.
So how would you suggest, if people are listening and they're nodding along and they're going, okay, Lamora, Suze, I get it. I really want to be the shit and not just a copy paste shittiness that everyone else is, but I'm freaking scared. Which is understandable. Where would you recommend they start?
Um, I think the best place to start is just doing that inner ask. Um, when we get in our heads and we think I should be doing this, or this guru said I need to do it this way, or this is how everyone else does it, that's all the thoughts that you need to throw in the garbage. And
Chuck it in the fuck it bucket. Yep.
yes, it is garbage. And go back to like, what is fun for me? What is who is it that I like to work with the most? Like really like to work with? What are the offers that light me up when I'm doing them? They don't even feel like work because I enjoy it so much. What are, I cuss in my brand. Maybe that's part of who you are, and that shouldn't be silenced because you want to be professional, depending on your brand and depending on your
Well, your
clientele.
target audience, like if you're putting something out for children, you might want to be like, okay, that's probably not
Exactly.
recommended.
Exactly. But if you like doing that inner work of like finding your voice, because with a personal brand, your brand voice is just an extension of you and your voice. You own that. You own your business. You own your brand. It is a part of you. And so, yeah, mostly check in with yourself. Am I doing this because I want to do it, or because somebody told me this is what I should be doing?
Yeah, because basically, if you're going to work for a shitty ass boss, you might as well go do that with guaranteed income. Like, you've quit the 9 to 5 or whatever to become your own boss, and then you've treated yourself in a much worse way than ever any official boss would do. At least in the 9 to 5 world, you get a regular paycheck for that.
Exactly. If
Okay.
you want to be a corporate zombie, you can go do that all day
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, I think it's just it's going to sound as cliche. It's so cliche. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but reconnecting with your why. Why did you leave? Why did you decide to be an entrepreneur? Why did you leave the rat race? It's like, well, because I wanted to be 100% me. Are you being 100% you? No, well, people might not like me. It sounds so like sarcastic, but it's so true. It's like
It
you
is.
you you just hide yourself. And yeah, there are people who don't like you, but the people are not going to like you. Like, if they don't know you, then they don't get a chance to have an opinion about you either way. Because you're so
Exactly.
vanilla and sound like everyone else, you don't actually register on their radar. Like when you look at
Right.
some people, like I remember when the Little Mermaid Action Live trailer came out, loved that movie, by the way. I know people knocked the Lin-Manuel Miranda songs, but I'm like a Hamilton fan through and through. But apparently that YouTube video had over 1 million dislikes because now YouTube's hidden the thumbs down so you can't see the dislikes. But it's like it's doing what it needs to do. The people who love it are like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. I can't wait. And the people who are like, oh, it's not for me. That's terrible. The people in the middle just don't talk about it.
Exactly. I never once had an opinion about the Little Mermaid movie. I
It
heard
was.
everyone's opinion and I'm like, okay, I don't
I
care.
was like, this is the best thing ever. I loved it. And my kids and I've watched it, and the new song, like Eric, what his name's Eric, yeah, got his own solo song. And I was like, yeah, I'm here for this. But it's funny. Yeah, I think sometimes you'll get haters, trolls, people who don't understand you, whatever. Like within a week of my new website coming out, which is like over a year old now, there's swearing on it, legitimate swearing, no asterisks to hide it, no nothing else. And some people are like, oh, I think you need a trigger warning. Like for swearing, I'm like, seriously? It says AF in the very first sentence. So if you don't figure that out from there, that there may be some more salty language coming, yeah, that's on you.
Yeah, I'm like, I put it in my brand name. If anybody is shy about it, they can just walk out the door, like from the moment they see what I'm named.
Yeah, and one more thing before we wrap up, because I'm just looking at the time. Someone will always tell you they will work with you if. And, people have said to me on more than one occasion, I'd work with you if you didn't swear. I was like, yeah, but you wouldn't be working with me then, would you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this
Very
is the way
true.
that I am. Yes, there are times like when I go to my kids' school assemblies, I don't go, fuck yeah. Like, I will tone it down. Or when I was visiting my mum in the, in the hospice, like I was very quiet. But other than that, this is just the way I am. Don't tell other people how to be. And yeah, so
Exactly.
Lamora, this has been fabulous. What do you do and where can people find you if they're like, yeah, I really have been hiding and I want to like own my shit?
Okay, awesome. So I'm from the Shit Brands, and I create kick-ass brands and copy full websites for service-based solopreneurs. And I do that in 1 to 4 week intensives so that you can confidently convert more high-value clients right away. And I am launching here in a couple of weeks my first newsletter. I'm calling it the Brand Boost Diaries, and you can find it at theshitbrands.com/subscribe. And I'm going to be sharing like some clever money making messaging tips, kick-ass personal brand and website like inspiration, like showing befores and afters and like why it works. Probably sneaking in a few like audits for my followers, and of course tons of like big dream encouragement. I'm always like, hoorah, you can do this. You're the shit. So, and of course, talking about giving you all the permission to like use your voice, find your voice, love yourself, and like boost your credibility, your clout, and your cash flow. So
That sounds
please join me.
incredible. So just a reminder, what's the website again for the newsletter?
Theshitbrands.com/subscribe.
Perfect. So check that out. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.